I have a very quick question.
Yeah.
You can say. Only thing, others who are hearing in FM, they may not be able to know the question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So that as we heard about the statement which you made that Krishna will give us whatever we want. So as I heard, as I know that demigods will give whatever we want, but Krishna will give what we require, what we need. So can you clarify one?
Nice question. When I was saying that Krishna will fulfill all our desires, whatever we want, Krishna fulfills. So I was not saying that Krishna will personally fulfill this, because Krishna has so many agents and one of them is demigods. So although demigods are fulfilling the demigod worshippers' desires, but we understand from Bhagavad Gita, actually it is Krishna who fulfills. So when I say that Krishna is actually fulfilling everyone's desires, it's not wrong or it's not exaggeration, but actually fact. Because all demigods are just mere servants. They are doing their duty because Krishna has instructed them. If Krishna withdraws the instruction, demigods are powerless. They cannot do anything. And Krishna has shown this so many times. One simple thing comes to my mind. One time demigods were very proud of their powers. So Krishna wanted to teach them that, see, don't be so puffed up. Ultimately everything is, I am only handing over you all these powers. So as a Brahmana boy, he came and he challenged the demigods, and one small grass was there, green grass. So he told Varuna Devata, or the wind god, he said, okay, you are so powerful, so kindly move this one grass. I have kept it here. So he kept it. And then wind god is very powerful. It's not ordinary. And what is that grass? Small grass, one grass leaf. Nothing in front of it. Just by any human being only, just by blowing air, it will go away. He tried his all powers to throw or thrashle that grass. Nothing happened. The grass didn't even move, a budge. It was just there, as if nothing is happening. Wind was blowing, nothing was happening. Wind god became, it's like his false ego, false pride was crushed. He became, he could not show his face. Then fire god came. He said, oh, I am very powerful. So Krishna, oh, you burn it. He applied all his powers. He couldn't. So like that, I don't want to go into the detail of that. But point is, when Krishna withdraws the power from the demigods, they cannot do. Even Arjuna, he also proclaimed this realization of his. When Krishna departed to the spiritual world, so Yudhishthira Maharaj sent Arjuna, because Yudhishthira Maharaj was not knowing whether Krishna has really left or not. He wanted to know further instructions on how to proceed taking care of the kingdom of the world. So he sent Arjuna, go and get some information, some instructions from Krishna. So he went there, and when Arjuna went, he came to know that Krishna has departed. So as a service to Krishna, he wanted to protect all the queens of Dwarka. So he took all the queens with him, and he was coming to Hastinapur, so that he can give them protection, and not protection in the sense, but he can serve them by taking care of them, because now Krishna is not there with them. So he thought to bring them. So he was bringing, but in between there were some few cowherd boys, very small cowherd boys living in the jungles. They came and they fought with Arjuna, and they defeated Arjuna. Not only defeated Arjuna, they took away all the queens with them, and Arjuna couldn't do anything. Arjuna, he was the same Arjuna who fought the big battle, Mahabharata. He fought fiercely with so many big Maharathis, powerful legends of that time. He fought with them, he killed them. But these were small boys, and that too of jungles, living in the jungle, small boys. So Arjuna says, I am the same Arjuna. I have the same Ratha which I had. I have the same horses. I have the same Gandiva in my hand. But only problem is Ishariktam. Isha is not there. Krishna is not there in my chariot. So therefore all my powers are gone. I am not able to defeat the children. And they took away all the, of course, it's revealed in the scriptures that those coward boys were none other than Krishna. So Krishna only took away all his wives, but in another form. He sent them back to the spiritual world, because they were not supposed to be here in the material world. But point is, this is Arjuna's realization. Ishariktam. When Krishna was not there in his chariots, he had no powers. But when Krishna was there, he had all powers. He could defeat everyone. Any big challenge, he was there to defeat them, because Krishna was right there. So this is proper understanding of a devotee of Krishna. So therefore, whenever any devotee misses this understanding, Krishna is right there to remind him. Just like if we are a devotee and we are expert in something, some service for example, and we think, oh, in ISKCON Vrindavan there is no other devotee other than me who can do this service so expertly. If we have such understanding, then Krishna will reveal. He will reveal. Will do such a silly mistake, and everyone will laugh at us. Krishna will make it happen, and then he will show us, oh, you think you are the great devotee of ISKCON Vrindavan, you are doing this service the best. No, because you have my mercy, then therefore you are able to do something for me. So don't become proud of the borrowed plumes. Your borrowed energy or skill or whatever ability you have, that is been borrowed from me, borrowed from me. So therefore do not be proud. So Krishna crushes our pride time to time like this. If we think we are great, Krishna shows us that we are not great. We are small, we are tiny, insignificant in that way. Does it answer your question? So yes, actually Krishna does everything. But he has agents. So many times he may not personally do. Through agents he does it. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Correct.
So in a certain section of your lecture,
Yeah.
you were speaking about how one should be tolerant of other devotees
Yes.
and try to ignore what one considers the faults.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand how you drew that conclusion from this purport. However, I would like to say,
Yeah.
Krishna says here, as you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. So, because he's also saying that Krishna is the object of one's desire, it happens in so many different ways. So one has to understand, because of all the previous verses, that like the exact previous verse being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, taking refuge in me. Many, many persons in the past became perfect by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. Verse is the purpose is how one can attain transcendental love for Krishna as you surrender unto him. And if one just accepts everything as equal, that everybody is just trying to do the same job, and no, Prabhupada created a Madhyama society, which means that one has to have some discrimination about the association one keeps, so that you may not have to condemn somebody because they have some faults. Everyone there's a fault in every, there's a shloka here somewhere which says there's a fault in every action also. So, but however, one has to accept what is beneficial for one's devotional service and reject what's not beneficial for one's devotional service.
Yeah.
And you have to accept what makes it easier to surrender to Krishna and reject. You have to use some kind of discrimination. We take shelter of those who are more advanced. We take friendship of those who are on an equal platform. We give shelter to those who are innocent, and we neglect and avoid those who are envious. So it's not that we see somebody who's envious and then we don't make any decision about it and then just say it's okay. That's kind of like the philosophy of the 1960s in America. You're okay, I'm okay. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So one has to be discriminating. The main point of this verse is as you surrender to Krishna. And definitely, for whatever reason, akama, sarvakama va, etc.
I have one verse which I am supposed to speak tomorrow morning in Hindi Bhagavatam class. So I'll read, because the statement which I made came from here. This is Canto 4, Chapter 11, text number 14. I'll just read the translation and the purport where Prabhupada mentions about this. One who actually satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead during one's lifetime becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material conditions. Thus, being freed from all material modes of nature, he achieves unlimited spiritual bliss. In the previous verse, it has been explained that one should treat all living entities with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. By such behavior, one satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and upon his satisfaction, the devotee immediately becomes free from all material conditions. So everyone has material conditions, Prabhupada is explaining here, but when we are with devotees in the material world who has material conditions, there is a need of tolerance.
This kind of devotee is not just a Prakriti devotee. This is a very seasoned and very sincere devotee, which that verse is talking about.
Yeah, so
one cannot assume that one has that qualification and that can simply tolerate. Of course, tolerance, you have to tolerate. One should also discriminate and avoid certain situations which may not be very profitable for your devotional service. One must, of course, tolerate all living entities, but one does not have to step in a beehive. One usually avoids the beehive.
Yeah, I am understanding, but this statement is talked in relation to those devotees with whom we are supposed to serve. We cannot reject them. We have to serve with them. So we need this tolerance. We have to understand that, okay, he may have shortcomings, and he will understand I also have some shortcomings. Still we go along. Why? Because the service is what is important, and that has to be carried out, and both of us are being given this service. So therefore we need to be. But if somebody else is there who has some faults, and he is not directly in relation with our service to Guru and Krishna, we may just don't deal with him. We may just, okay, okay, you are a nice devotee, okay, Hare Krishna.
But where is the tolerance for that devotee? It should mean that the goal should be
we
same.
Cannot deal with everyone.
If the goal is the same, then you can tolerate. If the goal is not the same, then better to choose your association.
Yeah, that's what. Of course, here the association was given to him because that's instruction. Now there is no question of him choosing the association. He has to serve with the devotee. Whatever he may be advanced, he may be equal to him, or he may be junior to him. So he has to serve because that's instruction. So how can he just reject? It's a practical thing that he has to go along with him, and if he has to go along with him, he has to tolerate to some degree. His whatever faults may be there. Sometimes he may speak harshly, disrespectfully to him. He may do anything, or he may be irresponsible in his service. He may just doesn't do that, or doesn't turn up that day for service. Many things can happen because of so many things, practical things. So there is a need of tolerance. But yes, we have to choose association. That's what Srila Prabhupada has taught us. Being a Madhyama, one has to be discriminative. One should know whom to associate with, whom not to associate with, because there are pseudo devotees who externally they are devotees, but internally they are proper materialists. Although they may be having big-bag in their heart, but they are materialists, proper materialists. So we have to know, we have to understand who is who, how, and then associate with the devotees. And also we have to know what is our aspiration, what we have to aspire for, what we have to go ahead. Because unless we have a goal in our mind, how we will trade that, how we will go towards that. So although it's not that I am assuming that I am very advanced devotee and then I have to tolerate, but I am talking about this is what Prabhupada wants us. And we have to go towards that direction. We have to aspire for that position where we are actually tolerating the deficiencies or the so-called troubles which we face. And troubles actually we face because of our own anarthas only. Because our anarthas are troubled. That's why we feel trouble. Otherwise there is no trouble. A pure devotee never feels trouble from anyone, whatever he may be. He doesn't feel, because he doesn't have anartha in his heart. So therefore he accepts whatever reciprocations others are giving to him. He accepts this is Krishna's mercy. Krishna is reciprocating with me. So for him it's not a problem, but for us, because we also have anarthas, so sometimes we have to tolerate. In that sense I was talking. Thank you for your clarification. It was giving more clear understanding of how the thing has to be understood. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavad Gita.